So this is also something that I thought to explain. These are some cherry ones that I thought just to throw away, to forget about them. I used to put some just water into them, but they were too made out of enriched atoms. So these were sitting like without water maybe 10 days, 20 days, and so on. This one I just thought to forget and use for whizzing. So people can see right there, this usually leaf would just dry away and die, and that's it. But because this is made out of enriched atoms, this is actually, it doesn't want to die and go away. It's still remaining alive and living, even if I thought to forget about it, not even water it and so on. Because when I made these, they were made out of enriched atoms. And there it is. It's sort of purple and yellow. This is just a cherry plant, but one that remained small and so on. It remained, it turned yellow and then purple. So that means it doesn't want to die, and that's it. It can stay without water and everything because it's made out of enriched atoms. Same as these other plants. Just this one wasn't growing well, so that's the last one that I was gonna get to move and everything. And this one I just thought to forget about and not even make into a big plant and everything. But people can see from the color there, it didn't die. It changed the yellow and then it changed into purple. On top it's green still and everything. So it can survive still and everything and go outside. But the big point is that when a person makes a plant out of enriched atoms, it can survive in places where it would not. So like a desert, this was without water maybe 20 days. But it's still living and okay, so it can survive. It has no flowers on it, so, but it's still living, still survives. And that shows that some little evidence that even in deserts such plants could be made. In deserts, and when they are made out of some things, then they might be even purple. They might be some totally different color. A tomato plant could be living in the desert giving tomatoes, but it might be purple. It might be some totally different color, and so on. Color is just the atoms. This is just atoms right now that were without moisture long, so it wasn't watered, so it was without water a long time. So then they change color. There's no water, so it changes temperature. The atoms change temperature, and therefore they change color. But it's still alive and could survive, and I could turn it into a plant right now. Right there on top, they're green and okay, but the branches down there aren't, but they're made from the same stuff. So these are actually the same atoms made from the same stuff. These, but they change color because how the plant was distributing the water that it had. So the plant does extend all its best stuff to the top. That too can be explained, because the top is what grows and goes up and so on. And the plant right here, now people can tell the difference within color. This one is watered all the time. All the suckers on it are growing and everything. There are flowers right there. 4 of them are fertilized and gonna turn into fruit fast and so on. But this one is actually some totally green that is very beautiful and so on. Right there are some colors that are green, like green light color, which is new ones, new atoms that came and so on. That sort of lighter green, that's the newest atoms that come in and so on. This is also a tall plant and doing great. It's just curly, going curly like that and everything. But I just cut off a few leaves there so that the suckers would grow faster and so on. But this one too is gonna be like very big, 4 meters and so on, and gonna give a lot of fruit and everything. It has flowers right there too. That one is a flower already, yellow and so on. So this plant too is doing very well and so on. The habaneros are right there, And habaneros are very small plants. Usually when people grow them, they go maybe a meter or something, maybe up to 2 meters, and that's that. But these habaneros I plan to do like many different ones, one in a desert type of situation, one in an Amazon type situation, one in like this type of land, dark land, and so on. So I'm gonna do very different experiments on them during the summer and everything, because by September they're supposed to give their fruit and everything, a lot of them, and so on. And the Italian cherries right there, which are doing very nicely, and so on. I did a big mistake there that I put the honey in, so that's something I should point out. When plants are this small, never put honey in. That just stops them from growing and slows down the process a lot. So on big plants, a little honey can go a little bit sometimes, and that's about that. But right there, there's a leaf next to the ground that I mentioned in the last video. So there people can see that's all that's bad. There is some just a little lines that are drying on it, some like dots, and that's it. But the leaf is still surviving and doing okay and everything, even if it's right there next to the ground. So what I mentioned in earlier videos, but the whole plant and everything is doing great and everything. It has all the suckers but one on it growing. So this one is like a dinosaur tree as far as the suckers are concerned. But I cut off some leaves so that I increase the production of suckers and flowers on it. So like one right there, that's a sucker, that's mostly suckers on it right there. Because people would say you have to leave the leaves on because the tomatoes need sunlight to be tasty and good and everything. But when you water a plant with tomatoes, there are tons of that sunlight in those tomatoes, especially if you find organic ones during the summer. You know, then that means there's tons and tons of that sunlight in the tomatoes, and you're pumping tons of it in it. So and hydrogen and so on. So that can be solved even that way. I once thought, when I was doing thinking about all this plants things and everything, I thought like I could take a tomato plant right now, put it in a cave, and just water it with special stuff so that it never sees sunlight. And I think it would give great tasty tomatoes and everything, because I can take tons of hydrogen and tons of stuff that has sunlight in it, tomatoes and so on, other fruits, and I just water the plant with that. So all the sunlight it needs, it would get from watering. It wouldn't even need the sun then, because there are tons of photons in the stuff you water it with. So that's like a theory that I thought, didn't test that out yet and so on. But this plant right there is going very well. There are suckers right there also, very nicely green. It's like tropical and so on. And some of the leaves on it are like the biggest ones. They grow like very fast and everything. Some of the leaves are like very huge and everything, and the ones on top. So looking like very green and then very good.